said, Grandpa, what's this picture here? It's all black and white, and it ain't real clear. Is that you there? He said, yeah, I was 11. And times were tough back in 35. That's me and Uncle Joe just trying to survive a cotton farm and a Great Depression. If it looks like we were scared to death, like a couple of kids just trying to save each other, you should have seen it in color. Oh, and this one here was taken overseas in the middle of hell in 1943 in the wintertime. You can almost see my breath. That was my tail gunner, old Johnny McGee. He was a high school teacher from New Orleans, and he had my back right through the day we left. If it looks like we were scared to death, like a couple of kids just trying to save each other, you should have seen it in color. A picture's worth 1,000 words, but you can't see what those shades of gray keep covered. You should have seen it in color. This one is my favorite one. This is me and Grandma in the summer sun, all dressed up the day we said our vows. You can't tell it here, but it was hot that June. That rose was red and her eyes were blue, and just look at that smile. I was so proud. That's the story of my life, right there in black and white. And if it looks like we were scared to death, like a couple of kids just trying to save each other, you should have seen it in color. Yeah, pictures worth 1,000 words, but you can't see what those shades of gray keep covered. You should have seen it in color. Should have seen it in color. Yeah, pictures worth 1,000 words, but you can't see what those shades of gray keep covered. You should have seen it in color.
There's an old man in a lazy boy, TV on a western, fast asleep. Gray in his hair, at least what's left, but the heart of a lion beating in his chest. And there's a little more slow in his go, a little less rock in his roll these days. But I remember him 10 feet tall and bulletproof, throwing me a ball and counting wrenching his hand and a beer in the other. God couldn't make a man any tougher, and that S on his chest is starting to fade. But I'll always remember him that way. I used to think that he'd never get old. That kind of thing was for regular Joe. And he tries real hard to put up a fight, but I guess time is his kryptonite. 'Cause I remember him 10 feet tall and bulletproof, throwing me a ball in cowboy boots, a whistle and the dog started running, a whispering mama starts blushing, a wrench in his hand and a beer in the other. God couldn't make a man any tougher. That S on his chest is starting to fade, but I'll always remember him that way. There's a little more slow in his go, a little less rock in his roll these days. But I remember him 10 feet tall and bulletproof, throwing me a ball in cowboy boots, a whistle and the dog started running, a whispering mama starts blushing, a wrench in his hand and a beer in the other. God couldn't make a man any tougher. Yeah, that S on his chest is starting to fade, but there's some things time can't erase. 'Cause I'll always remember him that way.
Wore starched white shirts, button at the neck, and he'd sit in shade and watch the chickens peck. And his teeth were gone, but what the heck? I thought that he walked on water. Said he was a cowboy when he was young. He could handle a rope, and he was good with a gun. And my mama's daddy was his oldest son. And I thought that he walked on water. And if the story was told, only heaven knows. But his hat seemed to me like an old halo, and though his wings, they were never seen, I thought that he walked on water. He tied a cord to the end of a mop and said, "Son, here's a pony, keep her at a trot." And I'd ride in circles while he laughed a lot. Then I'd flop down beside him, and he was 90 years old in 63, and I loved him and he loved me. And Lord, I cried the day he died, 'cause I thought that he walked on water. If the story was told, only walked on water. Yeah, I thought that he walked on water.
Grandpa, tell me about the good old days. Sometimes it feels like this world's gone crazy. Grandpa, take me back to yesterday, when the line between right and wrong didn't seem so hazy. Did lovers really fall in love to stay and stand beside each other, come what may? Is promise really something people kept, not just something they would say? Families really bow their heads to pray. Daddies really never go away. Oh, oh, Grandpa, tell me about the good old days. Grandpa, everything is changing fast. We call it progress, but I just don't know. And Grandpa, let's wander back into the past, then paint me the picture of long ago. Lovers really fall in love to stay, stand beside each other, come what may? Is promise really something people kept, not just something they would say and then forget? Families really bow their heads to pray. Daddies really never go away. Oh, oh, Grandpa, tell me about the good old days. Oh, oh, Grandpa, tell me about the good old days.
It was 25 cents at the gumball machine, and that's 25 more than you have when you're 3. It blew my mind how a quarter appeared from behind his ear. Spinnerbait burned a hole in my Levi's. The lake was too far for a bike ride when Mama was busy and Daddy was gone. I'd call Grandpa. He was Superman in overalls, knew every old Don Williams song, had a fight inside he left behind in Nam in '67. If there was a landline that ran right to the countryside of heaven, and I had call Grandpa. Started thinking about a white picket dream, picking out that pawn shop ring. I was sure it was one of them things, he'd be the first I'd call. Yeah, I'd call Grandpa. He was Superman in overalls, knew every old Don Williams song, had a fight inside he left behind, and damn in '67